doing, guys? Luke here of SimBoxx. Delighted today to be joined by former WBA bantamweight world champion Nina Hughes. Nina, how are we doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. It's been a little while since we've had you on the channel. You're in retirement now, so yeah, it's good
Yeah.
to have you back on and to catch up.
Yeah, no, it's been good.
So let's get straight into it. How was life in retirement been? I know there's been a little festerings with a certain female fighter recently, and the temptation to come out of retirement. We will get into that, but how have you enjoyed? Is it you're coming up to 12 months out of the ring there or thereabouts? So yeah, how was
Yeah.
life in retirement?
It's been good. I was a bit worried that like retiring, I thought it'd be a lot harder than it was, but no, I've enjoyed myself. I've kept myself busy, and yeah, it's been a lot easier than I thought it'd be.
So this time last year, I think he was getting ready for the rematch with Shannika Johnson.
Yep.
We had all the controversy around the first fight. That rematch didn't go your way. If we start with that, it was a TKO
Yep.
loss.
Yep.
Talk to me about that loss and the disappointments and the event as a whole, because like you said, there was a lot of controversy around the first fight.
Yeah.
Jumping at the bit to get that rematch. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, it was just frustrating. Obviously, the first fight, I believed I won. So I shouldn't have even had to go back for the rematch in theory if I'd have got the decision. But yeah, it was a long wait, long 10 months wait for the rematch. I got the rematch and I just didn't perform on the night. And yeah, the better person won on the night. But yeah, it's disappointing. I was disappointed with my performance. I got my nose broke by headbutt in the second round. That probably didn't help. But yeah, no excuses. I'd had a good training camp. It just didn't go my way on the night.
So not 2 months after that fight, you come back with a six rounder against Rachel Achieng. You suffered a knockdown in that fight. Talk to me about the idea of taking that fight so soon after the world title defeat.
Yeah, well, the option, what I wanted to do was literally get back in there, get a win, and then hopefully get another big fight before the end of the year. I always said I was going to retire at the end of the year, but I wanted one more big fight, and obviously coming off a loss, I needed to get back a win, so that was the aim. But then I don't know. I look back; it's hard to know. But halfway through the fight, I lost all my I didn't feel like I wanted to be in there. And then so straight afterwards, I'm like, is that me? That was a bad performance against someone I should have beaten comfortably? And yeah, maybe because my head and the motivation had gone in there, I thought, oh, maybe it's time to retire.
So that's
Um,
quite interesting. So that was kind of partway through the fight you started having this
yeah,
kind of feelings, yeah.
literally, I think it was like halfway through the third round. I just thought, I can't wait for this to be over. And I thought, you shouldn't. No fighter should ever feel like that. I love fighting. I mean, you don't get to do it enough as a fighter. You do all the training, but fight night's the thing you look forward to. And yeah, halfway through that, I just yeah,
I
I
think
didn't.
I think Sonny Edwards he went through something like that, didn't he? Was it with the last fight against Yafai and he suffered a stoppage fee? But I'm sure there was something in the middle of that fight where he's like, this is not for me
Yeah,
anymore. He decided in the middle there. Like, I don't want to paraphrase him wrong, but words to the effect of he knew at that point that he was done regardless of the result.
yeah. I think your head just knows, and I just thought to myself, you know what? If that's how I'm feeling midway, I shouldn't be in there. Um, and then yeah, and then I get dropped in the last round.
So that was almost like the cherry on the cake.
Yeah, and I just felt like that performance. Oh, maybe it is time.
So, like 4 days after that, you made the decision to announce your retirement. That fight was always scheduled to be, like you say, a comeback fight to get into another big fight. Was there
Yeah.
never a thought process of the bigger the fight, the bigger the opportunity, the mindset, the motivation might be there, and that was just because you had to drop down a level or so, with all due respect, to pick up a win? Did that not cross your mind that it was just the fact
Yeah,
of your opponent
yeah,
and not the occasion?
it definitely did. There were so many things afterwards that crossed my mind. That you think back and you think, was that the reason? Was that there's I don't want to make excuses for my performance, but there was a lot of things that could have been the reason why that performance was like that. It's only when you look back afterwards and maybe hastily made that decision every time. But I was always open that if a big fight come, I'd consider it. If it didn't. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of other reasons that could have affected that performance as well.
You know, it'd be wrong for me not to mention the ring walk for that fight. If it turns out to be your final fight, that was a very like wholesome moment seeing you with the ring walk.
Yeah, definitely, because I got to do it with both my sons. My
Yeah.
eldest son, he carried my world title belt in, and he'd done it a few times before. But my younger one, who was a bit young at the time, and then now he got a bit older, he was like, "Oh, I want to do it." So at least I got to share the ring walk with both my sons before I retired.
Yeah, brilliant moment. So you look back on your career now, world titles, Commonwealth titles, very, very successful career, both pro and amateur. Satisfied with how everything played out?
Yeah, well, obviously the Shannika first fight, but that decision was taken out of my hands. So I'm proud of when you look back, I'm proud of everything I achieved in the amateurs and the pros. And yeah, it's boxing. Things don't always go your way. You don't always get the decision. But yeah, I'm proud of everything I've achieved.
Absolutely, and rightly so. I think if there was going to be one thing that stood out from your career that's missing, if you like, an itch that needs to be scratched is the Shannon Courtenay beef, and it leads me quite well into that. And the smile on your face tells me you knew it was coming. It's cropped back up again. Shannon Courtenay's returned to the
Yeah.
ring, most valuable promotions, and she seems to have the back in there. And your name's come up, and you've said that you've come out of retirement for that fight. Talk to me about. I know there was a few more than one scheduled fight between you two ladies that never come to fruition. Talk to me about the rivalry with Shannon.
Yeah, because it was just there was a fight that was actually scheduled and another two that she turned down. Three world title opportunities she had, and it's just I think it's all the lies and the sob story excuses she's come out with for each of those why she didn't take the fight. But she's not even a good liar because her excuses keep changing, so she forgets her own lies. But yeah, so I think with that, there's always been that bit of beef there. That's a fight that I would always want, and it's a fight that I believe I will always win. And no, it's people just suggested to me that she's boxing on a big show. Um, in England, MVP had done wonders for women's boxing. They've always put on good fights. So I knew she wasn't boxing Ebony Bridges on this show. And I just assumed that they would want her to be in a big domestic fight. Being an all female show, you need the views. You want good fights, don't you? You don't want her fighting another novice, which is what she is fighting instead. So yeah, I just feel I would step up to the plate and fight her. But even take me out of the equation, she should be fighting. There is so many domestic people she could be fighting, but she's going for another like what she thinks is an easy option.
Well, this is the thing, I sit completely on the fence. I'm completely impartial. I have to be from my position. But I was quite intrigued that she made comments with another platform about you have nothing to offer, no belt, nothing to offer her. She's not interested in the fight. But then she's had one comeback opponent. Now she's looking at another one, maybe another two comeback opponents. I'm like, well, even if you're going to disregard Nina Hughes as an opponent, she's still
Yeah.
better than the ladies you are fighting. With all due respect, she's still better than the ladies you are fighting. So if it's not a world title, why not Nina Hughes, you know?
And like you got to think, she wants world. I haven't got a belt. She wants world titles, but you have to get you have to get yourself in a position to warrant fighting for a world title. What puts her in a position to ever fighting for a world title? Like literally, since she's lost her world title, she's fought out four journeymen or novices. Like no one of a particular level. You can't then get a world title shot. There's about a million people, and I'm actually still ranked 10th, I think, in the WBA ranking. She's not even ranked. So if she beat me, she'd get my ranking, wouldn't she? So it's about you have to take step ups to get world title shots. You can't just fight easy opponents, which to me, I think she's just a wannabe celebrity. I think she's just holding out with the easy fights until she gets the Ebony Bridges fight.
Okay, okay. So the interesting thing for me, from the outside looking in, I think with female boxing, it's coming on leaps and bounds, and you played your part in that. The one thing that tends to be missing, maybe due to depth of divisions, is real rivalries. We had Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, but domestic grudge matches like this for you and Shannon Courtenay are few and far between. And I think it's something again that will help advance the sport. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but
Yeah.
rivalries, storylines, that kind of thing, it all plays its part in selling the event.
100%. And like, especially for an all female show, to get good views, you need good domestic fights. I mean, lucky the four, you got four good headlining fights. But you still want a good undercard. You don't want an undercard full of one-sided fights. You want good rivalry fights still. So that's the only reason I offered myself. But yeah, like I said, there's so many other domestic fights she could be taking, even if it take me out of the equation. But they're the fights that need to happen and that she should be in.
Yeah, of course. I think the other angle that I was coming at when I was looking at the back and forth and whatnot is the fact that you beat Jamie Mitchell. Jamie Mitchell beat Shannon Courtenay. So, beat the woman that beat the woman. I think there's a lot of different
Exactly.
angles to come up with this fight.
Yeah, there's loads of things like, yeah, but I think the only fight she's willing to step up and fight against is Ebony Bridges because obviously she's beaten her before, so she obviously feels confident there. But yeah, you have to work your way up and you have to take the harder fights to get anywhere in this game.
So you're coming on 12 months retired. Not had that many pro fights, turned over late and whatnot. So
Yep.
you've not got many miles on the clock. But is there a time frame in your head of when this fight should and would happen before you'll go, you know what, I'm completely done?
Do you know what, mate? If it was anyone else, I'd probably say, yep, this year done. But I don't know, with her, I think there'll always be that temptation.
You can just imagine. Did you see the Matchroom promo video they done for Lee Wood and Josh Warrington where they dressed him up as old men and he was acting like it was 2075 or something like
Oh
that?
no, I haven't seen
You
it
could just
yet.
imagine and you and Shannon Courtenay doing something similar.
Yeah, I think it is just one of the grudge matches. Anyone else, I think, nah, it's basically I've been out the ring for another year again. Do I want to come back? But I think with Shannon, there will always be that temptation.
Speaking of temptation, as we move forward a little bit, but most valuable promotions, Jake Paul, they've landed in the UK. They look to have got a Sky Sports deal, which will be huge, and financially backing women's boxing very well.
Yeah.
Is it, is that also a temptation to return because there is going to be consistent fights, a consistent schedule on a big platform? Could most valuable promotions tempt you out of retirement in terms of getting back into boxing full time again?
It'd have to be soon if it did, but because and like what good fights they can offer. Because yeah, like I say, I am getting older. I'm not stupid. I know time is ticking, and the longer I feel like the longer you're out the ring, I was out the ring for a long time between the Shannika fights, and I felt like inactivity was the key there. And yeah, being out the ring again for so long again, there's only a certain amount of time you can wait.
Absolutely. The main event on the first, the inaugural most valuable promotions card on Sky Sports is Caroline Dubois against Terry Harper, world lightweight title fight. Great fight on paper, and it seems to be, we were talking before about rivalries and good matches. This seems to be bubbling up nice. I don't think these girls don't get on.
Yeah, there's definitely a big rivalry there, and it's a unification fight. They're the fights you want to see. It's two world champions fighting each other, so it's a great fight. Glad both girls have stepped up and they both want to fight.
Do you side either way there? Have you got a prediction for that fight this early?
I think Dubois. I'm going to give it to Dubois. I think Dubois is going to take the win. She's very confident, and yeah, I think it'll be a great fight. But I do believe that Dubois will take the win.
I think it's a good matchmaking decision as well. Terry Harper's a solid pro, multi-weight
Yeah.
world champion. But if Caroline Dubois is all we're expecting her to be, these are the kind of fights she should be taking at the right time. And she seems to be on that trajectory, doesn't she, to the very top.
Yeah, and with MVP, they've got the other champion as well. So it's like whoever wins out of these will then probably go on to fight Stephanie Han, is it? And yeah, and then the Turkish girl after that, I guess.
Yeah, Turhan there, the Turkish girl, you say she's with Matchroom. Did you see her last fight going off on a bit of a random one here? But she looks a bit
Yeah,
one-dimensional, didn't she, compared to how good she and destructive she's looked at beating Beatrice Ferreira and whatnot.
she's obviously got that power, but she showed a lot of weaknesses in her last fight. She shows she's an invisible. I think I see someone call her the female version of Deontay Wilder, which is quite a good comparison. Um, she's always dangerous, but I don't think she does a little bit of technicality there.
Weirdly, that could almost do her more good than bad, though, isn't it? When you like she's looked like an absolute wrecking ball. You have a bit of a bad night, and all of a sudden, these other ladies are going to come knocking in and be like, you know what, maybe we can beat her. She's not as dangerous as what we thought. So it could play out in her favour, weirdly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because people that were worried and probably were going to avoid her, if she'd have stopped her last opponent, probably thinking, well, she's got nothing to worry about now.
Yeah, absolutely. And also on the card in April with most valuable promotions, Ellie Scottney. She, somewhat, in my opinion, as much as she's achieved, I still feel like she's underrated. She's going for undisputed against Rosquero, and this is a great opportunity for Ellie Scottney to really put her name on the lips of boxing fans and finally get those kind of plaudits that she deserves. Because, like I said, I believe she's underrated.
Yeah, I believe so as well. She's a massive talent, and like you got to give her respect. Like she's done this the hard way. Like when she wins that undisputed like that last belt, she can appreciate the fact that she's literally done it the hard way. She hasn't won like two or three belts in one fight. She's gone out and beat every single champion individually. So you've got to give her massive respect to that. And yeah, I do believe that she'll become undisputed.
Yeah, I think she's a heavy favourite going into that fight. They're looking at potential, I know there's weight classes and whatnot, but maybe Ellie Scotty and Sky Nicholson down the road. Is that a fight you'd get behind?
Yeah, look, everyone wants to see the big fight, so whatever's best for them, I'm sure if it works for them both, it'll happen.
Yeah, Emma Dolan as well. She's finally getting a world title shot. Another lady who I think is going under the radar. She's not put a foot wrong, and win British titles, Commonwealth titles. She goes in with Irma Garcia for the IBF world title. A big fan of Emma Dolan.
Yeah, look, it's a massive opportunity. I'm glad that she's finally got the chance to box for the world title on a big show as well. So, yeah, it's good to see, and yeah, hopefully she comes away with the win.
Yeah, and the other fight on the card, I'm putting you on the spot here with each of the fights, but it's what we like to do. Chantel Cameron, she's looking to go for a WBO super welterweight title. I think that would make us a three-weight world champion, I'm right in saying. Big fan
Yeah,
of Chantel Cameron, the win over Katie Taylor, and it seemed to have not really been able to capitalize on that. She lost the rematch, and then there was no trilogy fight, and she's kind of, I wouldn't say out in the wilderness, but she's not really
yeah,
up from that. Actually, she's the only one to hold a victory over Katie Taylor. That's some accolade to have, isn't it? And in today's
yeah,
game, that's as good as a world title, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a big opportunity for her again to get back out there and pick up another world title and hopefully lead on
yeah.
to a big fight.
100%. She's a massive talent. But she needs to find another rivalry. I think now that Katie Taylor third fight obviously isn't going to happen. So she needs another big fight. I don't know, maybe someone against like Michaela Mayer or another big fight that's going to get everyone interested.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, we get those fights for Chantal Cameron in the future. At the opposite end, we're talking about world title fights and ladies that have been at the top of the game for a number of years. At the opposite end of the scale, TMA8, and she returns to the ring this weekend on the Wood Warrington 2 card. She looks like a really, really exciting prospect, doesn't she, TMA8? And
Yeah, she does really. Yeah, she's knocking everyone out. So if she could get another stoppage, yeah, she's definitely one to watch for the future.
yeah, exciting times. Well, that pretty much clears up everything I wanted to discuss with you today, Nina. So I appreciate your time. Is there anything you'd like to add before we close out?
No, nothing from me. Just yeah.
No problem. Like I say, I appreciate your time. Every time you jump on the channel, I'm really appreciative of it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
have a nice day, and I'm sure we'll catch up again real soon.
Thanks for having me.